Another massive red flag about to trigger a foreclosure crisis. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, I'm going to politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It is very important to stay close to the channel in these very tricky times. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. And friends, we have a massive new issue right now threatening the U.S. economy. We have a massive issue right now threatening the U.S. housing market, about to trigger a foreclosure crisis. And the funny thing is, I shouldn't say it's funny because this is very serious stuff. Again, I continue to do my best to not minimize the severity of what we just did to an economy. Not just any economy, the global economy. It took a once-in-a-lifetime event to trigger this thing. And the realities are, friends, like I've always said, we're at the tail end of a pandemic, the front end of a recession. It becomes now, how deep can it reach? And a lot of top analysts are predicting a depressionary level, which none of us have lived through. Some of us, myself, present company included, have lived through a recession. The great financial crisis of 2008, that was severe, my friends. It caught my full attention, and that's why I'm here with you today, continuing to ring the bell, sound the alarm, and let people know you might want to be careful in these times. This was an artificially created economy, an artificially created housing market, created all due to flooding the economy with this free money. And that's potentially why we're going to see, and like I said, there's so many things that could be the spark to trigger a foreclosure crisis. And make no mistake about it, we will get one. It just becomes at what level. And like I said, many people are predicting a depressionary level. I mean, a deep cycle like we've never seen in our lifetime. And that's a little alarming. But like I've always said, the first step of getting past a problem, admit there's a problem, acknowledge the elephant in the room. That way, if it comes, you're less paralyzed by it because you've halfway expected it. Many people have no idea of what we're talking about. If you're new, please subscribe right away. There's never been a more important time in U.S. history to get forward thinking, critical thinking, centered and surrounded with like-minded people, my friends. So here's the reality, friends. This is potentially the newest one. I know a lot of you have heard. Our current administration is employing 87,000 IRS agents to go after people. Can you imagine that? This is what's about to play out. This is very alarming. Because over the pandemic, a lot of people made more money than they ever did because of the stimulus. It found its way into their lives, and they went out and financed new debt, which is what the government wanted us to do, to go spend. And boy, did we just do that. Did it like ever. And the challenge is this is what happened. If you take your pandemic income 2-3 years versus probably the most income that you've seen in a while, and you go to get a car loan, a home loan, they want to see how much money you have. You were able to show them pretty good financial statements, weren't you? And so you qualified for debt. You took on new debt. You took out a car payment. You took out a housing payment. And now as inflation slowly starts to rob many people, they're dipping into their savings and supplementing their income with their savings account. But that's disappearing. Most people, if they're still out there in the workforce, are living paycheck to paycheck. So what comes next? Credit cards. So you're carrying mortgage debt, auto debt, and credit card debt. You're running on fumes. And guess what? 87,000 IRS agents are about to come after people and put them under a microscope. And these people are already running on fumes. Can you imagine that? It's almost like an orchestrated, planned crash of an economy. And like I've said before, we've already got the perfect storm to either have, if inflation does not get brought under control, we have the highest inflation numbers we've seen in over 40 years. That's alarming. If we don't get inflation under control, it's going to be, regardless of what happens, 87,000 IRS agents or not. With inflation alone, it'll be a slow motion crash as people slowly fall like flies because they can no longer keep up with their cost of living. We see what's happening to the housing market, and I've reported on this as well. As soon as mainstream media starts to report on the housing market, being in a housing recession, it's game over. Mainstream media, as soon as they report on it, it is over because the masses now are going to get that in their mindset and they're going to shrink back. Like I've said, everybody recesses in a recession, even if they have money. Why? Because everybody else is. It's herd mentality, like what we saw with the FOMO when this whole housing market exploded. It was pure herd mentality. It's rearing its head once again. Like I've said, that's always why it's so important to stay close to people that are level-headed realists, communicating these things in a way that hopefully makes a little bit of sense so you can wrap your head around it and navigate through it. Most people are going to be paralyzed by fear, afraid to spend a penny, much less thousands of dollars, scooping up some property. So we will navigate through that. But this is the thing, friends. This is what I really wanted to communicate today. We have a massive new issue threatening the housing market when you have millions of people went and financed new debt based on artificial pandemic income. Myself, for example, a lot of industry. Can you imagine if you were a lender or a loan originator or a real estate professional or worked in construction? You saw more work than you've ever seen in the housing boom. As that cools off, you're now running on fumes. And if you went and financed a new house based on this new windfall of income you experienced, and somebody evaluated your income to debt ratio and said, yeah, you qualify. You've been making a lot of money here lately. Well, that is changing. Millions and millions of people, their income is now reducing. They wouldn't qualify for that financing, and they're no longer able to keep up with that. So guess what? Ultimately goes. First, it might be the credit cards don't get paid. Then the car payment doesn't get paid. And guess what finally doesn't get paid? You guessed it, the house payment doesn't get paid. Then you're rushing to market saying, let's downsize, but your house is no longer worth what you paid because you bought in the height of a bubble, but not just any bubble, a super bubble. And you didn't stop at asking price. You went above and beyond asking price. So you're upside down. You can no longer sell the house for what you owe. That is what's unfolding right in front of our eyes. Do you see what I'm saying, friends? This is the time to be awake and pay attention, get lean and mean, understand this issue. Some of us will have to navigate through this and just let stuff go and take our lumps, learn very important lessons. Like I said, I learned this lesson back in 2008. I don't regret going through it, but I certainly don't want to do it again because that would be the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That is why this time I came and started warning a lot of people. You might want to be careful. I will earn your business later. You want to jump on the sidelines? I support that 100%. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see not only win in real estate, win in life, understanding buying in the height of the biggest artificially created super bubble in history might have some blowback. Buying outside the bubble is going to be where most of us make our money. Many of you will be able to do that, but you're going to have to stay close to, like I said, like-minded people that are going to help you understand the environment that you're currently living in. If you appreciate the content, I do want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links are in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you're interested in buying or selling real estate right now, not next year after the crash, there's an email in the description for you as well. I have a network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. Also, take a look at our affiliate links of companies that sponsor this channel. And as always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count. I'll see you on the next video.